Okay, cool. No invitations, and how many people? 13 people. That's great. Maybe a few more will join. So today, I'm going to talk mainly about one topic, and it's the website order process and the different types of sites. I think that will be it. So this webinar and the future ones will be mainly about one topic. And at the end, as usual, there is room for questions. So let's get it rolling. So today we will talk about, or I will show the new website order process. I call it 2.0, with lack of a better word. And I mean, most of the EVAs are familiar with this type of sheet, so I will just jump into it. And we will have a bit of a new process here. So how it will work is that a site can have only two statuses. One is, I mean, yeah, actually, it will have more statuses than this, but it will have offer sent, and that goes for anything. And start means that you can start. Then I guess we will have taken over and ready. And we will do drop downs of these. So I think those will be pretty straightforward. That is kind of easy. So I want to dig into the different types and how to do them. And the country managers here, like Sanna, Helene, Claire, you will get some coaching here. So I will explain how to do it, how to get access to SEMrush. So in the beginning this week and next, we'll probably do a bit of, I do a lot of work, and then you start taking over the process. But if we take example, it's not ours yet, so it's on offer sent, and it's veiobaltzar.fi. It's some kind of artist, and here you see the account. It belongs to GM Network, and then if we get the order and can start, you can first go to SEMrush and see what it's currently ranking for. Why is it going there? Okay, yeah. So here I've downloaded like all the exports of the files, so you can just upload them and you don't have to do any work. And I'm basically putting all of the files in one big folder, and it will be one folder per month. And if I go back now to the site here, so how this will look would be, yeah, like I said, it's very practical today. How this will look is, where's SEMrush? It's over here. It will look like this. So you will have an export of 9 Finnish keywords, and it's pretty clear that right now it is ranking for Veijo Baltzar. So it will be, and it actually has 14,800 searches. So I guess we will rank for this after we've done some content. What is interesting here is the type of site it will be. So we have, in archive.org, we also have existing content in this case, and it will take a while to load. So I actually say here, copy tasks in Word app, site dedicated to artists. So if you take Casablanca, which is a site that I think Sanna built, this is dedicated to the movie Casablanca. We build a lot of sites like that. So these sites will be dedicated to the artist, and we will check the existing content a bit. I've added a link here where there might be some interesting stuff that we just want to reproduce here that is very relevant for the artist, along with, of course, pictures. So that is one type of site. I call them, with a lack for a better word, maybe we'll come up with something better later, but reproduce. It's pretty clear what you're supposed to do. Then if we go to the another one, I mean, I won't take Beauty Matters, but if I take winebar.ie, that is what I called standard site. It can start right away, and if we check this in SEMrush, once again, if you click on this one, you will see the files here. So you can just upload and they're named, so you see it, the domain name is first. So and then you have the dates, obviously. So if you take this away, winebar.ie, if I look that one up in SEMrush, let's see what do I do now? Let's see what we have here. It's probably not going to rank for so much. Yeah, it ranks for 2 words, most likely wine bar. That would be kind of logical. Yeah, wine bar near me even, which is good, and wine bar Galway. So this site here is very, very similar to what we did for White House. So I'm having an example site in Team here. Right now, I just put some in. I'm sure that we will come up with better ones later. But White House, what we did on this site, actually covered it in one of my webinars. But what we did here, this used to be a pub, and we welcome you to the sparkling and seductive world of White Houses, where White House Pub is obviously the original one, and we reproduce that content, and then it's different White House topics of the site. And I mean, for Wine Bar, it will be wine bars in Ireland and across the world. And obviously, we will dedicate one sub-page to the original Wine Bar. And this is in English, obviously. Then we have casino.fi, where this is a money site. And the money site is very similar to onlinecasino.fi. And if we look at this site, I mean, it doesn't have any existing, there's no point in checking SEMrush or archive.org. What we should check, though, is casino in keyword tool IO. So actually Google that one, or if I check it here. Okay, I got an error, but that should be fixed pretty fast. Oh no, and it's searching for hair transplant. Yeah. So casino in Finland has 9,900 searches. Here are the related keywords. I mean, you all know how to do keyword research by now, but just to be a bit practical here, I will copy this search string in, where's that here? So you build a site, and the site would look very similar to this one in stage 1. So, which is a great site, obviously. So here it's it will have a lot of content, and if and when it gets traction, we will start adding stuff on it. So this is a money site. And then you have edodonti.no. This is kind of dental stuff. The client is word.pv. It's a LAS site, and LAS stands for lead as a service. So it's a lead generation website, and there is no, I mean, there's no SEMrush or archive.org info here, and we actually have teams for this. One of the teams that I think is new with Elementor is this one. It's in Turkish, but I mean, I think you can copy it. You could also use some inspiration from stamviten.net. I think we did that in Elementor also. Otherwise, I mean, I'm sure that Björn or Sanna can, or Helene can find us something that is similar. So this is like a lead sites, and the lead sites here, they're always more or less the same. I switched to Swedish now, I don't know why. So here is like, I mean, very clear call to action. So it's ask for offer. It's only one call to action, is always the same thing. I mean, we want the guy to submit the form or call us here. And on this, don't decide, it will be the same. We want the person that is looking to fix their teeth to fill in the form. So where's the sheet? So that's the last site. What do we cover now? Reproduction, standard site, money site. And then we have a bit trickier one, Norge.fi. So this is a Finnish domain, but it's in Norwegian, and it's about Norway. Here we are going to reproduce some of the content. So if I go to archive, I will see that there's some old news here. And we have built a pretty cool site for this purpose, which is altonehandel.com. I know that Sanna built this team. So it will be similar to that. It will be about Norway in Norwegian for Finnish people, and it will be like, I mean, a bit, what do we have here? We have about some embassies, about some tourism, and then main thing is, of course, the news section. So you have, in this case here, you have a lot of news that you that we want to list. So both reproducing old interesting news like an archive, and then adding new ones each month. So that would be that site. Then you have our shopping site. So here you have vaskemaskin, and that it means like washing machine in Norwegian. That is a shopping site, and it actually has it has a SEMrush file. I will try to find this one here. I guess no. God. Here it is. Okay. Once again, I go into SEMrush. You will go to the folder, obviously. Here we see that we're currently ranking for 3 keywords. So although the site is not built yet, it's ranking for vaskemaskin, which is kind of obvious because of the domain name. So this one here, we will build a site similar to Yamato. And I see that, Jörn, you have done some new cool stuff here. We have fixed this team a bit. So this will be the Yamato team, where we will list washing machines from a shopping feed. And if you look at the history, maybe you want to rearrange it a bit, because in the history of this one, it's pretty good actually. We could definitely use the Yamato team, but maybe we want to use switch them around. So we start with a list of stuff, and then we have the different different categories and stuff like that. I actually think that might. Yeah, I think both works. We have to experiment with it. So that one is done, and that's like a standard shopping site. Then you have, here's an interesting one. So you have hands-on, which is and you will only reproduce almost all posts in WordUp. So first of all, it's in English. And if you look at the link here, it used to be a very interesting site about Photoshop tutorials kind of stuff. So it has history, and then a writer that will be good at Photoshop could probably add some new content here. But first we reproduce the old ones. So there's a lot of like tutorials that you can just more or less copy paste, and we do it as this copy paste tasks in WordUp. Yeah, so here you see, like, I mean, you just more or less take this page and put it up. And then one more covered, Netherlands FE, it's in Dutch. It's similar to the Norway site. Trolling Strawberries, it's a standard site dedicated to the group, so it's very similar to the Casablanca one. I mean, we have dog sites like that also. I think like I have, yeah, American Bulldogs.dk. Here we have like, this is obviously about dogs. If you check the old one, it looks like this. So here you can both reproduce some stuff from here. It's in English. And then you can also take inspiration from this one. So you can expand on the content perhaps a bit and build a site about bulldogs. I think it's pretty straightforward. So, and those are very typical themes. Spirit Store is a shopping site in Finnish. Geografia, this is also interesting because this is more or less also reproduction. Here I put it in as an order again, Helene, because this one we should, or Helene or anyone basically, we should put this one, all the tasks up. So someone needs to do some script work there and put all the, I don't know, 1,000 different countries up. The site looks like this in Web Archive. So I think there's plenty of room for more content. And then obviously we need to update the index page there. So this takes a while. I can close some tabs. Yeah, so this, all of these ones should obviously get the index, and then you have like Africa and Asia and all kinds of stuff there. So there's some work there. Then we have a new type of site here, which is Neuralink. Neuralink is, I mean, it's not really new, but it's like Altomi Handel. It's a mix between standard site and money site. I called it standard sites here. And obviously Neuralink, if you look at it in Keyword Tool IO, because Elon Musk is a pretty smart guy, it's kind of exploding. Okay, so now I search for Finnish, which is obviously wrong. So in Finland, it's 2,400 searches. This is a Swedish site. So if we check Sweden, it's going to be more, I guess. 738% growth. That's pretty good. Yeah, 666% growth. So here you have a lot of keywords. I mean, you know how to do this. So it's going to be a new site. I mean, I think the best place probably to rewrite English content and expand on that a bit, and find good clips on YouTube that we embed on the site and similar. Linked to a couple of blogs from Elon Musk and stuff like that. Then finally, I would like to end with something I call satellite site. And we don't really have an example of this yet. We have been talking a lot about it, but we have not really pulled the trigger with it. So this is sites that are connected to another site. So, I mean, we have talked about our hair transplant sites in numerous webinars. So if we take, so we go to hårtransplantation.nu, which is a site that Helene has built. Going here. So this is obviously in Swedish. And what will happen here is that we will do something like, what is it? We will do add a flag there, and then do a similar solution to what we have done here. So here we have English, Turkish, and Finnish. And so now it's in English, obviously. So if I switch to Finnish, you will see that the entire site is translated to Finnish. We're not going to do that. This is kind of a light version of that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to take the Swedish site, add a flag here somewhere, and then we're going to do proper keyword research, like here I actually did it. So here we'll do proper keyword research, and so people are searching for, this can't be right, hair transplants. Okay, let's say it's hair transplants, and then hair transplant Turkey should be one page. Before and after Turkey, we include that in Istanbul, so that's one page. Price and cost should obviously be one page. So we will create, like, I would say 5-6 pages in English, and the cost page, like in this case here, so we have the cost page will be connected to the English version of it. I think they probably look pretty similar. Then you have the destination here. You have the one in Turkey that will be connected to the other one because that's searches for that. The main page, hair transplant, will be connected to this one and be pretty similar. And the rest we just skip. So there won't be any blog on that site or similar. And what we're trying to do here is that we're trying to, so a lot of people are assuming that there's no content in Swedish, or so they search for English, which we see in this search here. This was New York. They see here, I mean, you see that in Sweden, here's Sweden, the country, they're searching for hair transplant Turkey, 590 searches. There's quite a lot of competition, actually, and we want to reach out to those, both organically and by advertising. So that's why we're building the site. And then from a link perspective, obviously, it's a great hack to get some English links, which is much easier than getting good Swedish links. So, and for English-speaking people that don't speak so good Swedish and stuff, there's at least some info so they can find out what they want to do. So this is more or less our current setup. So how this will work now, is that I will start adding all of the sites that we have here. I added some of them, and all the stuff that are currently we have offers out, or we are bidding on them or similar. I will add them there, and if we get them, there will be start, and then you basically know what to do. And right now I will work, I think, like at least one day a week on helping with the SEMrush and archive and coming up with different types. But then later on, the country managers and the EVAs, you will take this over and get access to SEMrush and similar and do this work. So you don't have to I cannot do a couple of hundred sites myself. That's kind of impossible. So that is basically that. And we are almost at the end of this webinar. I like to keep it at 30 minutes. And I can't repeat this enough. I'm repeating it every webinar. I want to repeat it again. Some very experienced people, we had a talk this week, you know who you are. You cannot do bad quality in WordUp. And it doesn't matter if there's a technical reason, you need to get into the habit of double checking your work. So if you put it in the EVA sheet and you have not double checked it, we can't work together. And I know that there's tons of explanations for it, but there's simply think Apple, WordUp, we think of it the same. We get furious when there's no quality, and it's so simple. It's just a habit. So instead of clicking the send button, you double check it, maybe one time, maybe 2 times. You don't send it in the evening if you're tired, you do it in the morning. Because once you have submitted it, we assume that the quality is very good. And if you cannot do good quality, then we need to have other people double checking your work, basically. So I mean, like, I think I will repeat this again and again and again, because this is like such a waste of your talent and everybody's time not to do it. And it's simply a decision, like you just have to decide, like, okay, I'm going to double check my work because I know that I will do mistakes. I'm a human. That's it. That's basically it. Everybody does mistakes. The difference is that the people who do really good quality, they double check their work and they have other people double checking their work. So if you treat it as the most important thing that you're ever going to do, then there would always be good quality, I think. And I mean, that's also why some of you you don't get invited to batch 3 or batch 4, because batch 2 was simply sloppy. And I mean, the EVA doesn't have time to correct all that stuff, so they don't give you the reward points and invite you for it. So now, oh, what is this? Okay, so okay, so it's supposed to be a Q&A now. So if you have any questions about this, let me find my amazing picture for that. Yeah, here. If you have any questions about that, then please, now it's the time to ask them in the chat so I can answer them. And so Jorn, I'm saying, okay, so okay, while I'm waiting for some questions here, I'm sure that some people have some questions. Washington is asking in the chat, I'm a beginner. Why is it that I get screened out from some surveys? I mean, no, surveys work like this. It's not their criteria that the company that is providing the survey or like ordering the survey wants to answer. Like, I mean, for example, you should be a male between let's say 35 and 45. If you don't fill that criteria, you get screened out. And then the other thing is that, like, the system learns as you go. So in the beginning, the first 20 surveys or so, they're really frustrating because you will get screened out a lot. And it seems that it asks you the same, I mean, similar questions all the time. And that's just building up your profile. So after a while, it gets much better. Another note that I might add there is that VPN doesn't work. So you cannot do Swedish surveys. I'm in Istanbul now. I cannot do Swedish surveys from Istanbul. It's I have to be in Sweden to do those. Here I could do Turkish surveys, but they will be in Turkish. Do we have any question, guys, or is it everything crystal clear like usual? Should not be crystal clear because it's pretty advanced stuff that we covered today. Okay, I mean, I will take another question that okay, so Washington is asking again another question here. That's good. Hi, Washington. Why is it that I get screened out from some survey? Okay, will there be any batch 1 tasks coming up? Okay, so yes, tons of product descriptions. So if you have passed batch 1, you will be able to write product descriptions. We are adding, I covered it in my last webinar last week. We're adding a lot of product descriptions now. And I mean, if you get really good at writing those, there will be some reward points, and you can also get invited by an EVA to get batch 2 and 3, etc. Okay, Zarina is saying, great webinar. I learned a lot and looking forward to build some web pages. Okay, cool. Okay, I will just do one final thing there. I mean, like, everybody's asking that. So everybody, I mean, obviously, question 1 to 10 is, when will I get paid? Is there any problem with my payment? Can you please fast track my payment, etc., etc. We pay the EVA sheets, we pay them the first week each month, and that's the first week, so it's the first 7 days of the month. And if you don't get them by then there's a problem. But until then, you must imagine that we have 500 plus people that we're paying. I mean, it doesn't go faster because you ask. So please, I mean, just remember that. I mean, we understand that, I mean, you do this for money, partially at least. So obviously, it's important to get paid fast. And then the other things is that it takes 3 to 5 business days. Business days is bank days when the bank and stuff is open. So Sunday in Europe is not a bank day. A Saturday is not a bank day. Christmas is not a bank day. So those days we don't count, and then it takes 3 to 5 business days for us to process a payment. And so 1 week could, I mean, 7 days, if it has holidays and weekends in it, it could be that it actually takes 9 days then, because we are not working during the weekends, or we're not working much during the weekends. Okay, guys, it's been 30 minutes. Thanks a lot for listening in, and I see you guys next week. Have a nice evening, and bye-bye.